My girlfriend grew distant because I got beat up defending a group of girls being harassed. A little background. I have been with my girlfriend, Sarah, for 3 years and have been living together for 1.5. She is honestly everything I have ever wanted, and I am planning on proposing somewhere next year. So 3 weeks ago, I was out with Sarah at a local bar drinking and having a great time with her, as it was just after the quarantine had ended where I live. At around 3 a.m. we decided to head home. As we headed to the parking lot where we had parked, we noticed a group of 2 girls and a guy who was clearly drunk trying to hit on them and get them to go to his house. The girls were clearly very uncomfortable and trying to find a way out. Sarah told me that we had to do something, and I told her to go call the cops and get someone as well, because the very least I wanted was her to get hurt during this. So I approached the group and tried to pretend I was the boyfriend of one of the 2 girls, and long story short, I got my kicked. The guy was at least 6 ft4 and 220 pounds, whereas I'm 5 ft11, 167 pounds. I'm fairly muscular myself, but there was no way I could have taken someone that big. I knew it from the start. At least from all the noise we had made, a lot of people rushed the scene and the girls got away safe. I was rushed to the ER because that had broken my ribs, which had punctured my right lung. Yay! After that incident, Sarah has grown distant from me. Even though she visited and stayed with me at the hospital, she hasn't been the same since. And I thought she just needed time to move past this. However, 5 days ago she told me that she is not the same person after what happened, and she doesn't know if she feels safe with me after I got beat up like that. Honestly, hearing that hurt me more than when I got my ribs broke. She has moved to her parents for the time being, and she told me she needs time. Meanwhile, I had no one here to help me, so my brother left his 2 boys and wife to move in with me. I know I'm just venting at this point, but I don't want this to be over like that. Reddit, is there anything I can do to salvage the situation? Update. Until yesterday, it had been 14 days since my last contact with Sarah. My brother had left 4 days prior because I felt bad keeping him away from his family for so long. Plus, I could take care of myself to some extent. So around 2 p.m., while I was making lunch, I hear the doorbell ring. I go to open the door, and there she is, Sarah. With tears in her eyes, eye bags, frizzy hair, looking like a total mess. During the time we've been together, I've seen her in her ups downs, but I'd never seen her in such a horrible state before. So I let her in. She sits on the couch. We haven't still said a word, as we were both dumbfounded. I was so overwhelmed by emotions. I wanted to hug her. I wanted to full-on blast on her. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. So I did nothing and waited for her to talk. After 5 or 10 minutes of silence, she starts sobbing and saying she's sorry, and then full-on crying. At this point, I can barely hold myself together. So I hold her hand and try to calm her down so I can figure out what is going on. After a while, she finally somewhat calms down and starts talking. And that's where it got bad. Something that I didn't include in the original post because it wouldn't make sense to anyway is that Sarah's mother has been divorced and remarried once. From what Sarah has told me, her biological father cheated on her mother while she was still a kid, and that's why they broke up. And that's also why she doesn't have any kind of relationship with her father. It seemed odd when I first learned about it, but I didn't question it. That is not the whole story though. Sarah's biological father didn't only cheat on her mother. He was a drug addict piece of that, also used to beat her up frequently. Without getting into a lot of graphic detail, in one instance when Sarah's brother tried to intervene and protect her mother, he ended up getting beat up too. So when she saw me intervening and getting my kicked in the bar incident, it triggered some kind of PTSD in her head that she could not control. That's why she had grown distant and eventually left. It all spiraled out of control and she could not handle it. In those 2 weeks we've been apart, she barely eaten or slept and even made some really dark thoughts which I'd rather not go into. She told me that she is a horrible girlfriend for leaving me alone in my condition, and that she doesn't expect us to be together again after that, which I told her isn't the case. So we have a very long road ahead of us. My number 1 priority, right, is getting her to see a therapist, which I suggested we can do together if she's scared to do it alone. So yeah, that's where we are at. Some of you were right, that there was some deeper issue behind what happened, but I could not have possibly known. I also wanted to take this opportunity to say something that I got messaged about a lot. I got a lot of comments and messages saying that I was a for what I did that parking lot, and that I should mind my own business next time, and not play the hero, etc. First of all, I did not initiate the fight with the dude. As I said when I got there, I tried to pretend I was the boyfriend of one of the girls in case. When that didn't work, I got between the girls and the dude trying to create some space between them, and that's when he started to push me and eventually started throwing punches. Secondly, no matter how hard I hit the gym, I would never be able to take that guy one-on-one. As I said, I'm pretty fit, and I've been working out for several years, but the fella was a lot bigger than me. Unless I had a gun or something, which isn't legal in my country, I was doomed. Finally, for the people telling me to mind my own business, well, let me you that what exactly? What I was doing. It is my and everyone else's responsibility to look after the ones who can't protect themselves in this world. No, I do not consider myself a hero, nor did I do it for the show. I did it because in some other instance one of those girls could have been my girlfriend, sister, a mother needing help. And these girls were somebody else's girlfriend, sister, or mother. If I was put in that situation 100 more times, I would act the same. Edit. I also talked to her about the proposal I wanted to make this year. I was planning on doing it as a surprise, but in the way things have turned out, I figured it would be better if she knows it first. We both agreed it should be delayed for now. Story 2. Is my mother trying to destroy my relationship? What do I do? Me, 24F, and partner, 34M, have been in a relationship for 4 years. I am a university student. Last year I quit nursing and transferred courses. I have recently moved out. I am the last sibling to leave home. Mother has recently been saying things to me, so I doubt my relationship. This has happened within the space of 2 weeks after moving out. 1 saying my partner is abusive. We have one account that we put spare money into for savings, as well as each having a personal account. When I say to her I have access to the cards, I know my PIN and I can get at it whenever I want, there is no issue, she will say you don't have access to the account. Even though I do, and I have just told her that. It's like talking out a brick wall, she doesn't listen to a word I say. 2 saying my partner wants me to fail university. One time, a few days after moving house, I couldn't find my rucksack with my uni stuff in it. I phoned her up to see if I had left it at her house. Eventually found it on his side of the wardrobe. She then took that info and twisted it to mean he wants me to fail. But she says it in a way which guess with my head. But I am 100% certain that he does want me to do well because he helps me out a lot. For example, help me revise by asking exam questions. Free saying he calls me names behind my back. Me and my partner are both devout Christians, he more devout than me. She said that someone told her, want name who, that my partner called me a Bible basher. I don't believe he said it. She didn't give any proof. 4 manipulated me into thinking if he doesn't pick up the phone after 1 ring, it means he's cheating on M. And she admits to hating men and treating them like lesser people and letting women get away with normal stuff, like eating and relaxing after work. She admitted she wouldn't let a man do that, cause how dare they. After all of that, she came around to me new home, shouting and screaming, wanting to look at my bank statement. She also blamed him for a breakdown I had during nursing, causing me to quit. She was acting crazy, calling my partner all sorts, making out he's an abuser. When I explained away her issues, trying to talk and not argue, she didn't listen and demanded that I go back to hers where I'm safe. I told her no, I'm done with you. It has been 2 months and she has tried to start talking again, even eliciting the help of my cousin to convince me to talk to her again. I said I'm not talking to her again until she realizes what she did was wrong and apologizes. Her response was I was wrong. She seems to think that she was protecting me and that she was in the right. From the few, brief unsolicited times I have talked to her, she has said my partner started the argument, even though she literally said, "Where is he? Isn't he gonna come down here and act like a man?" And he did, and told her to off. To which she replied, "What you gonna make me?" Clearly trying to start a fight. So in her head he started it. I received a call from another family member today, asking me to talk to my mom because my mom might hurt herself. She has had depression/suicide attempts in the past. I feel like I am being forced into speaking to her again, because if I don't she might make another attempt, which I will get blamed for because my sibling was blamed for the last one. I just want everything to be normal. I want her to stop and just drop it, but I don't think she ever will.